So you're looking to move to East Lansing and you kind of want to be at the heart of everything that is in the downtown area. Or maybe you're an investor or a parent of a student and you want to potentially try to look for a potential rental property that is close to where all the action is. Well, in this video, I'm going to do a map tour of the downtown area, kind of show you some of the surrounding neighborhoods, show you where some of the hotspots are, kind of show you on a map like where everything is within walking distance. And maybe this will give you a little more knowledge of what is around the downtown East Lansing area. So I invite you to sit back, relax, because we're about to get into this right now. Hi everyone, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in Lansing, Michigan. Thanks for coming to my YouTube channel, Lansing, Michigan Life. And I get phone calls all the time from people who are looking to potentially invest or maybe buy or sell in East Lansing. So if you are looking to buy or sell in 9 days, in 90 days, in 900 days, whatever timeline you might have, I would be happy to help you out and my team. Just contact me at the information below. You can call, you can text, you can email me, you can schedule a Zoom call. We would love to be able to talk with you about everything East Lansing. Took a look at one of my prior videos that I've done about investing in East Lansing. I think I said my goal was to show you guys a map tour, because it's one thing to just kind of state, Katie, here are the streets you might want to look at and take a look at, and one thing to say it, but another thing for you guys to actually visually see it. So I'm going to take a moment right now. I'm going to pull up on my computer on Google Maps the city of East Lansing for you guys to be able to see it, for you to see the downtown, to be able to see like just how much there is in that area, why students are saying, hey, we want to be close to everything, to all the action. You'll be able to see on the map kind of like its proximity to the school, to some of the sports complexes, and then I'll even try to get into some of like the outer areas so you can kind of see, you know, if you're looking to potentially live in East Lansing, just some of the neighborhoods and its proximity to the downtown area. I did another video of neighborhood tours that were very close to East Lansing, and you can take a look at that on my channel as well. Seems like right now I'm just doing a lot about East Lansing, so hopefully this information has been really good for all of you. So let's go ahead, dive in. Let me bring this up on my computer. Okay, so I have East Lansing up here. This is the downtown area. So I have this zoomed in the East Lansing area, extremely, close to where the downtown area is. And you saw a previous video where I was in the downtown area towards the back part of it. So right here, what you can see, if you look here, you see the downtown has Five Guys. It has a place called the Peanut Barrel. It's been around for years. Students hang out there all the time. Good food there. You got Raising Cains, folks. So that just got added about a year or two ago within the downtown. Place is always packed. They also have Taco Bell. Actually, I think that might be closed. I haven't been to that Taco Bell for a long time, so don't quote me on that, but I think it's closed, but maybe it's still open. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me in the comments. So, but in there as well, you see there's a Walgreens, there's a Dunkin Donuts, there's coffee shops, there's a Starbucks. I think I mentioned in my other video too, like there's a Target that is going to be like right around this area. I think over here, just a smaller Target. There's a hotel here where people stay at when they're here for conferences, or even for like a Michigan State University game. You got Buffalo Wild Wings, and then there's almost every type of international cuisine in this area. There's a ramen noodle restaurant. There's Ella's Taco, a Mexican restaurant with a cool porch, like a cool porch that they have, but also like a balcony that you can sit up on top and kind of look over the city of East Lansing over there. There's a place called Pinball Pete's that has a lot of arcade games. There's different breweries and bars throughout the area. So I meant what I said in my last video, where I feel like East Lansing has the best downtown as far as like it's just very vibrant and it has a lot of places that you can hang out at. Lansing downtown, is a place where you got a baseball field, you got the Capitol building. Yes, it has some landmarks,
But as far as like places you can eat and meet people at, doesn't have as much as East Lansing does. And because of the students, you do have students during the school year walking around here. So, right here is the downtown, area. And before I get into this, the other thing I do want to preface is I'm not going to be getting into all the different rental laws again. If you want to know about the rental laws, please go to my former video where I do talk about investing. It's called Beware of East Lansing. So check out that video because I go more in depth with how East Lansing works for rentals and investing. So right here, when I was referencing that video, you got North Hagedorn here. You got Bircham, runs right here. And this is going to disappear, but hopefully you can kind of see what I'm referring to here. Then you got Abbott Road down south, and then you got the main drag right here. So it makes a quadrant, I'd like to call it. And so in that quadrant are where there are several rentals. Several investors have gotten into rentals in this area. So if you're closer to this area, because you can kind of see down here is, downtown area right here, right? So if you're in this area, you're probably looking at about $500 to $550 per student that would be living in your rentals. It's not bad, but you can kind of see when you're behind here, like if you go a little further down into the downtown area, like this is the main drag, right? Then you see like McDonald's here. That is actually not in the downtown area. It is just east of it. But again, it's kind of part of that quadrant, right? So people will, there's a lot of public transportation that goes on that main street. So people will still consider this area good, but it's not as close to like all the stuff downtown, right? Or it's not as close to like where things would be across the street downtown. So, right here, I had an investor client that they had a house on Stoddard, over here, and it went super great for them. It was Stoddard and Cornell as well. So, but they averaged around $500 to $550 per student. And when even I look at the current rents, it stayed pretty flat. If you start getting closer to the downtown area though, so you start getting to Charles Street, Division Street, Mack Avenue, you see how this is directly behind all the stuff. So those are going for $600 to $700 per student. And so, but obviously, and I think I said in my previous video that if you have a home that is licensed for 3 people or 4 people, it usually goes per license. So if you have like a license for 3 house that allows for 3 students to live in there or a family, then you're looking at anywhere from, low 200s to mid 200s for that to buy a house. Over in the downtown area as well, though, if you go further down, we're raising Cains over here. There are some high rises that do have condos that have gotten some great appreciation over the year. One of them is located in this area, and another one is located in this area called Albert Place. And so these are high rises that act more like apartments. But as far as appreciation goes, if someone buys one of these units downtown, they might get it for their kid, and then they have one roommate, because that's all you could really do in those areas. But like as time goes on, if they hang on to it for a good 3, 4, 5 years, I've seen some really good appreciation with those homes. I kind of feel like in the last couple of years in this quadrant, it's kind of been a little stagnant as far as how much landlords are asking per student for rent. So the rents are not going up, which means the prices aren't going up, because if you're an investor and you're looking for something, right, you want to make sure the numbers make sense. And so again, just kind of in my research and everything that I'm seeing throughout this area, if you get one of those high-rise condos and it's just you and a roommate, you might be able to make some money on it in the next 3 to 5 years. And that's called City Center and then Albert Place. And they probably have a handful of units that come up each year. There's not a lot of them. Just east of here on a city called Hillcrest, it's this way. I'm not going to try to zoom out quite yet, but there are some townhomes that have appreciated quite well, but it's like three different levels. Like you enter in from the basement and then you go to the first floor and you go to the second floor, and there's 3 bedrooms. But again, you have to also be aware of the East Lansing rental laws to see if you could even do that. Because a lot of them, you can only have one roommate potentially 2 roommates, depending on how it's classified. So also in this area, what you have to be aware of is, even though, I kind of showed you where a lot of rentals are, right? In this quadrant area, there are still some neighborhoods that are within this quadrant. They're known as, and I'll review again, rental overlay districts, where in that neighborhood, you cannot apply for a license, even if there's not a license. If there's not a license on the property that's not grandfathered in, you cannot get another license on that property. So there are still some people, and it's mostly around, I would say, like this area right here, where you're seeing that the neighborhoods have voted to not allow any new rentals. So there are people that just like living close to campus, and they like living close to the downtown because you can just easily walk to it from there. Hagedorn has had a lot of rentals go on the market recently, like within the last few years. I think some investors are trying to cash out on some of their assets. But again, it's, you're getting about $500 a student in this area, but this is really close to a public transportation line for students. So if they want to walk to get on a bus, and you get right around this area, there are bus stops along this route to where it's just not a huge deal to be able to hop on a bus and it can take you where you need to go. If you go a little bit further east over here, there are some rentals on these side streets, Melrose, Linden, and there are some rentals over there, but those rents, again, the further away you get from downtown, the lesser the rents go for. And so, and then you start getting over here, because I think I mentioned this before, like East Lansing runs right into Meridian Township. So right in this area, you're in East Lansing City. Then you go into a different township the further out you go. So I'm going to go out just one more, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. So here, again, right here, downtown area. I love how on my laptop I cannot control this. Okay, so that's what we've been looking at, right? So you got a little bit further. Right here, you see that the East Lansing High School's right here, East Lansing Public Library. And then I did a neighborhood tour recently in White Hills. Up this way is where White Hills is. There's an amazing park right over here. So, I mean, there are people, if you go north of Bircham in that area, I mean, there are, you get very close to the high school, you get very close to the schools. And, there are several neighborhoods where people just like to be close to the campus, and they like the school systems. So you can see right over here, if I get east of Hagedorn, then right here is where Whole Foods and IHOP is, and then the new Trader Joe's that just opened. And you're starting to get right into the Okemos line, because when you get to Park Lake right here, then you're in Okemos, crossing over the bridge. And then right here is where Meridian Township kind of starts. So they kind of run into each other. And so that's why a lot of people, they might end up trying to purchase a place in Okemos or might rent if they feel like they're within like 10 minutes of where everything is at, because that's about how long it's going to take for you to get into downtown with all the traffic and everything, and to get to classes. So a couple places I did want to highlight to you that investors have looked into. There are some cheaper options that you can look into. It's not quite there in the Quadrant area. If I move a little further north here, I gotta get off my highlighter. Okay, got Hazlitt. So you kind of see, like, I'm starting to get away from the Quadrant area, so it's not necessarily going to be walking distance from there, because I've gone kind of far north. But right here, Carriage Hill East Apartments, there are some, and I've seen a lot of grad students live at some of these, at this area. They are apartments, yes, and rentals, but they also have several condos that you can rent. There's some one-bedroom apartments that you can purchase, and they run right now like around $100,000. You get a 2-bedroom for around $120,000, and then there are some 3-bedroom townhomes within there that are going for around the high 100s right now. I would say for a long time, like, they were in the low 100s, but they've started to appreciate a little bit. So if you're looking for something a little bit cheaper and it's kind of close to campus, because you just got to take Hagedorn all the way down, this is an option for you here. Again, it's in the Carriage Hill area. Another option for you, because I kind of want to show you where East Lansing is in regards to like Lansing area as well. And I think this will be helpful for you to be able to see. So I'm going to keep, right here. This is what we've been looking at right here, right? So I keep going. And now you see the 127 expressway. You just keep taking this, and these are like two one-way streets. Everyone in like there's so much traffic here. This is like the least liked street in all of Lansing. I feel this is the Frandor area, because you just kind of get a one-way street here and a one-way street there, and people just don't like this area. You see Wendy's is over there. But over in this area, over here, I want to highlight, because you can kind of see when I zoom out. See right here are some streets. They got Fairview, they got Magnolia, and a lot of those homes are going for, I would say, like around 150. And the city of Lansing rental laws, they go every 3 years. They are not as tough or as strict as the city of East Lansing. So, but again, the two areas I showed you on the outside, your kids are going to be like, yeah, but this isn't close to the Quadrant area where I want to be. And it's almost like you got to have a little moment to be like, okay, well, what would you rather have? Would you rather that, we don't have to, pay for you to live on campus, and you could have a house to yourself? And, those are discussions that you'll have to have if you have some kids that you're purchasing this for, or if you're an investor, for you, if the numbers make sense. This could be an area that could very easily be made into a rental. Probably the rental rates for one person, like if you have somebody just renting out the whole house, would be around like $1,500. So the capitalization rate, I feel, is a little bit better on this side of town, and it's a little cheaper. Otherwise, when you start getting into the main Quadrant area, which is going to be back over here. Oh, my drawings, so you can see where my circle is. If you start getting into this area, I mean, you are looking into a 2-bedroom home or a license for 2 home, at least being like $160,000. And then if you want to have 2 roommates or 3 roommates, it's going to start going to low 200s, high 200s. So there are opportunities that you will be able to have. But the one thing I will tell you as well is that it is important for you, especially if you're looking at an investment, it is so important to get with an agent to help you out, just because there are a lot of deals that happen where people might know somebody who might be selling their rental, and they don't want to put it on the active market because they don't want to deal with the tenants that are in there. Because when you list a house, you have to give the tenant 24 hours notice, and then you got to deal with the house being clean. Some people are like, hey, if you got a buyer, send them through. We can try to sell this, off market, right? So the way that I would, suggest for you to handle this is to be able to reach out to a realtor. Hopefully it's myself or my team. We would be more than willing to help you. Again, my information is in the description below. Also, just do your research as you look, and also have your agent be able to reach out to all their contacts and see, hey, are you willing to maybe get rid of this house? I have somebody who's willing to look at it. Having an agent in this is key. A lot of times people feel like they want to bypass the agent and try to see if they can get with the list agent. And trust me when I say that list agent that you try to go with, they're not going to maybe tell you all the laws. They're not going to tell you all the ins and outs. They're not going to tell you what you need to know. So having a buyer's agent representative in this market is going to be so crucial for you. Trust me in that, because there are certain rules, laws, restrictions. I get phone calls every year from parents who are like, I'd like to look into this. And then I explain the laws to them, and they're like, that's a little bit more complicated than what I thought. So again, please reach out to us if you have any questions on looking to invest in the area. And also, again, I just want to thank you for taking a look into my channel and for, just walking through this with me. If you have any questions, feel free to, comment below. Also, like and subscribe to my channel, because I'll continue to put on new content for you so that you can be informed about anything in the greater Lansing area. So please like, subscribe. And I think that is all that I have right now. So everyone, make it a great day, and I'll see you next time on Lansing, Michigan Life.